It's really hard to record tonight because I'm super angry. I'm super pissed off. I'm super annoyed. I'm depressed. I'm in despair. I feel hopeless. I actually feel like that quite often. Too often. And for too long. For as long as I can remember. For as long as I can remember, meaning being a very young child, I I suffered. I was unhappy. I was fearful all the time. And I've been looking all over the place for decades to get better. And all those things seem on the outside to get better. The suffering is always there. And if someone knows this feeling, or even if it's not at the level that I feel it right now, or that I've been feeling it forever, even just small suffering makes you seek for an answer, a solution, and it feels like I've tried it all. And obviously, I haven't tried it all. But is it really normal to spend your whole life trying to feel just okay, normal, and not in pain and panic and suffering 24/7? Like, I was not able in life to have healthy relationships. I was not able to go to school. I was not able to find a job and keep one that I love. I'm a shitty mom. I'm not that much of a shitty mom. People keep telling me I'm a good mom, but I'm angry. I hate life, and she feels it. I don't say to her that I hate life. I don't say that to her. I tell her all the efforts I make. I'm super honest and vulnerable with her. I tell her my difficulties. I tell her all I do to get better. Not in a way that's oversharing to a child. Just to give her, permission to feel that as well. And I want her to see that it's normal, it's part of life, and there are solutions, and you're not a bad person. But she must see. She's 12 now. She must see that no matter what I do, it never works. I'm always tired. I'm always angry. I'm always frustrated. I'm always annoyed at tiny things. I'm always overwhelmed. Even though I keep telling her I'm working on it, I can't see. I can't see improvement, and she can't either. Well, maybe she does. And I know when you're stuck in these negative emotions, everything seems negative. But yet, I feel like I can't say to anyone just how much it is, how painful, how much I suffer. Friends get uncomfortable and don't know what to do, and it's a burden for them. So I don't share that with them anymore. I tried in the past, but in my 20s, and I've come to realize that actually not everyone feels the way I do. Not everyone suffers just as much as I do. I don't know many people who suffer as much as I do. Maybe there are some, but it's not the majority of people, or they wouldn't be able to function. That's a question I've had for years, as since I was a teenager. How do people do to live? It's too hard. It's too hard, and there's no reward. It's too hard. I'm I've been tired since I was a teenager, and everything is so much effort, so much energy, and it gives so little in return. I haven't tried it all. I've tried therapy, I've tried shamanism, I've tried hypnotherapy, I've tried psychedelics, I tried I tried meditation. I still do. That's why I'm here. I was like, okay, this time it's a 100 days, it's a long time. I'm going to benefit from it. And I obviously, I said I didn't want to have any expectations. I just wanted to see what happens. But of course, I have expectations. I wouldn't be doing this meditation challenge if I was happy and fulfilled and in love with life. Obviously, there was an intention. And hearing myself say I feel like swearing every night that my thoughts are unbearable and that I feel like shit, it's it's excruciating. Oh, I've tried EMDR as well, and I've tried, obviously, in my 20s, antidepressants that didn't work. I tried all the supplements thinking my body was tired too. Breath work, trauma release, breathing techniques, you name it. There are so many things I tried. Journaling, praying, whatever. I tried it all. And obviously, on the outside, I look like a more healthy person. Yeah, I'm still broke, like literally dangerously broke, fearful of working because I don't have the confidence, because I don't have the trust. I've ended up all my jobs in burnout after only a couple of months. All my jobs, I'm 38. And all that is just, I don't even care about a job anymore. I don't even care about anything. I just can't stand this feeling, this despair. I feel hopeless. Why try anything? I don't believe anymore. That's an egoic thing. The typical, I don't know, entrepreneur gets told when he's young, study hard, get good grades, find a good job, find a wife, and then you'll be happy. And they do the whole thing, and they realize in the end, oh, I'm not happy. So they go looking for something else, and I don't know, they meditate or they change their careers or whatever, and they find fulfillment elsewhere. Well, that doesn't work for me because I was never able to achieve those things. And I was never able to achieve those things that obviously don't make anyone happy. But I didn't find the happiness either. And I've been looking for it for a long time. I've known for a long time. And maybe that's why it's so hard to motivate myself to go to work and get a job. I've lost the hope and the naivete or the illusion that when I finally have enough money, I'll be fine, I'll be happy. I can pursue other things like art or my coaching business. I even lost faith or the illusion that being a life coach will make me happy and fulfill me. Nothing, no freaking thing on this earth is going to fulfill me. It's something inside of me. I've known that for a while, yet I can't do it. I can't release it. I'm doing my best. That's the way I feel right now. And it's not only right now, I've been feeling this way forever. And feels like you can't say that. Even to my therapist, when I told her that, many times she brings me back to the present. Like, I understand that right now what I'm doing is going to the past and into my fears and dramatizing and making everything worse. But all those are just words to convey how much I hurt, how much I'm suffering inside. And it's not hard, I know what to do. Just sit and stay with the emotions, acknowledge them, give them love, allow them to be there, don't ask them to leave. There's something I cannot get to. I'm incapable of doing it. Maybe I'm too scared. Maybe my ego knows. I guess that's it. I guess my ego knows that my ego is built on suffering and it doesn't want to die. So it will keep pretending and it will keep making me believe that I need to find a new thing and a new thing and another thing to make me happy or to heal me or to be liberated, be enlightened, or whatever, be realized, wake up, awaken, whatever the words. They're just words I know, and they're never the right word, but that's what I mean. And yet, you can't make awakening happen on purpose. I've done many things to how I don't feel any better. And I'm super scared about me. And yet, and I think my money problems, like that's what I think in general, that my money problem is the catalyst, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's the path to my liberation or awakening. You know, people have all kinds of issues or problems, that patterns that are recurrent in their lives, and it's their way to heal. Because probably if I never had any financial issues, I would be doing my thing and not look for freedom and liberation and want to awaken. So I understand that, or it's a belief maybe, but I understand that my suffering is here to help me heal and awaken and liberate myself. Yet, what can I do? I don't know what to do anymore. And I could hear someone reply to me, well, you should try that, and there's this, and there's that, or you didn't do it for long enough. I don't want to try anything anymore. I don't believe anything will work outside of me. I know it's an inside job, but then, and this brings me back again to no free will, I can't decide when or if it ever happens. I'm doing my best. I have the best intentions. It's so dark, it's so helpless, it's so hopeless. And the thing is that I've never been suicidal ever. But that again is because I was in hope the whole time. I don't have hope anymore. Or maybe I guess I do. If I didn't, maybe I would not be here anymore. But no, I don't. I don't have any hope anymore. I don't have the will to try. People say, "Oh, you're still young." Of course, 38 is still old. I believe we can live healthy until 100. But it's still 30 fucking 8 years trying to fix myself, trying to not fix myself. I don't even believe in that anymore. You can't fix yourself. We are whole, we are perfect as we are, blah, blah, blah. I'm powerless, actually. And, I keep hearing myself, and I guess I've watched too many non-dual videos, non-duality videos, because I hear myself and I understand mentally. Well, there's your problem. There is no you. There is no me. I doesn't exist. It's just a mental, I don't know, construct, or it's just energy. That's what they say. What do they say? It's energy that's, mm, contracted, or I get all that. But still, I'm there. I'm there, and it's hell. It is hell being me, being in my mind, being in myself. I hate the person I am for my daughter. I hate the person I am for, well, mainly for her. I do my best every day. I'm not doing anything. Nothing I do is improving anything. I'm just waking up, doing the things, feeding her, grocery shopping, cleaning the house, being impatient and angry, hurrying up to go to bed, and then start over the next day. There's never play, there's never ease, there's never lightness, there's never spontaneity, there's never fun. It's always a series of chores and things to do, and boredom and frustration. I'm so tired and angry that I'm obsessed about trying to keep my house cleaned because I'm overwhelmed when it's dirty. So I'm super angry as soon as she leaves a dish on the kitchen table, or her clothes in the bathroom, or her lunchbox in the hallway. I'm just annoyed at everything, at myself. It's so tight in my throat here. That's where my blockage is. I know it. I used to give it love and tell it I love it. I haven't done that in a while. I used to tell my tight throat that it's okay to be there, to be tight, that I love it, that it doesn't have to go anywhere, that I'm here for it, that I love it. It's so hard. Because obviously, in that doing, I still have a hope that it goes away. I consider it a problem that I have a blockage in my throat. It's so bad. I think I have a lot of anger. It's typical of childhood trauma, especially sexual trauma. I guess I should leave that anger out. I need to do it. I can do therapy, even though I love my therapist and we have an amazing relationship and I've known her for years. It doesn't come out. And it doesn't come out after days and days of meditation and hours and hours. I've run out of options. I've run out of illusions. I've run out of hope. I'm so pissed off. I definitely need a spiritual guide or teacher. But then again, I can't afford that. This is the most video I've ever made. It's so sad. And it's really different saying it out loud than writing it in my journal. Even though it's pessimistic and negative, and I don't want to promote hate and negativity. I don't want to promote denial either. I'd like to promote hope and love, but I don't have that anymore. Oh, that's one thing too. I see the beauty everywhere. I love beauty. I see it, but it can't reach me. It can't touch me. There's like a thick, I would say fog, but it doesn't blur my vision. It's not a fog, but it's a thickness between me and the beautiful things I see. Like I can't be there fully. And it's the same with my daughter. Sometimes I look at her like 5 seconds before complaining and at her, or 5 seconds before, and I want to see the beauty of the child, but I'm blocked in my hatred and in my shame and in my place. That's a big one too. I feel so ashamed that I have these many issues. I feel so ashamed that I'm unable to heal. If I want to go through the pain. My favorite quote is, "The only way out is through." I think I've said that before in those videos. But I can't go through it. I'm unable to go through it. I know what I have to do. Just stay there. Even if it's painful, even if you feel like you're going to die from the pain and the suffering. Just stay there. But I can't. My mind gets distracted. I yawn. It's too hard, I guess. It's too difficult. But that's what I want. I want to go through it. I'm ready. Or am I? I guess I'm not ready, because it would happen if I was ready. I think some people I know will watch this video and pity me and try to give me tricks and advice. And obviously, techniques help, but they help so little. Like, the progress is so slow. It's slow, so slow at that rhythm. I'm gonna die at 100. I'm gonna example. It's too slow. It's unbearable. It's unbearable. I can't get rid of myself. It's too strong. Myself is too strong. My sense of self, my person, my ego, whatever. Although they're not the same, but they're both really strong because of trauma specifically. One of the things I've heard, trauma makes the child so fearful. It starts over analyzing everything and trying to predict everything to avoid ending up in that situation, that terrible situation again, where it was so crazy. Like, first I dissociated, which is the reason why I didn't remember the trauma until 35 years later. So, no, 25, but anyways, 30, I guess, at that point. Yeah, I'm 38, 30 years later. So, in the moment that the trauma happens, the child is so overwhelmed. It's too intense. It has to dissociate, which means leave the body so it doesn't feel. Otherwise, it's too much for that child's nervous system. It would literally die. It's to save its life that the memory leaves. But then the trauma stays in the body for decades, for 3 decades, 30 years. And why was I sharing that? Yeah. The only way out is through. So I have to feel those hard, difficult sensations. But my nervous system is still too scared, and my ego, every time I try to go there, I can't. And that's where, in my opinion, I think the money problem comes in. Because it's never that painful when I'm okay with money. And I have, unfortunately, a very low threshold. I should have a higher limit for how little money I can tolerate. Because we all have upper limits and lower limits, which dictates how much money we can contain. And we have that with everything, like happiness or anything. Anyways, so it's precisely in those moments when I'm literally in danger of not having food on the table. It's in those difficult moments that there's the opportunity to get to the root of the trauma, because that's where the emotion is super strong. But at the same time, when I'm in those situations, my mind says it's not time to feel your deepest emotions. It's urgent. Your survival depends on it. Your life depends on it. Your child's life depends on it. So you have to figure it out. You have to fix it. Yeah, and what I was saying about the trauma, why I shared about the trauma and what it does to the body. I was saying that the child, um, in order to avoid feeling that trauma again, where he or she was usually afraid he would die, very literally. So their ego becomes really toxic and mean, because first maybe the abuser was mean to the child and shamed him or guilted him for what happened, but also the ego wants to figure out all the possibilities. That's what it was for me. Like, analyze that person's tiniest movement and voice, and whatever happens, any situation, the mind wants to predict any outcome possible to avoid being in that situation again. So I heard a sad thing once. I read a sad thing a few months ago that um, intuition would more likely be more developed in traumatized children, because instead of playing and discovering life and expanding and growing, traumatized children have to be hyper vigilant and aware of their um, their environment the whole time. So they have to become super aware of a person's facial expressions, the changes in voice tones, for example, to noises, for example, or all of that. So unfortunately, that's so highly sensitive people, intuitive people. Not all of them, obviously, not all of them, but it's often. And that's one of the things they share too in trauma recovery. Find what's that called? The silver lining. Find the positives about your trauma, because obviously it makes people more resourceful, self-reliant. Although it's that equality for a child, well, yeah, it makes you usually sensitive to others. Uh, it forces you to work on yourself. And when I speak like that, my mind says, oh, see, it's just trauma. You just haven't healed your trauma yet. You need to go find this certified trauma therapist and heal it. And maybe that is true, that is one thing, like a licensed psychologist, trauma psychologist. My therapist is not a licensed psychologist, although I much prefer her approach. And but yet there's still that, oh, you didn't go see a real trauma therapist. See, that's one thing my mind would say right now. You haven't tried it all. You haven't went to a trauma therapist. Well, first, unfortunately, they're professionals, and I can't afford that at the moment. And I don't even believe it because trauma is never healed when trauma is healed. Something else comes up, and something else, and something else. The self can never be healed because it doesn't exist. And there I am speaking non-duality concepts here, but they're just concepts. It's still myself saying them out loud. I'm still stuck in it. So I think it would be a better use of my time to try to wake up, to become enlightened, than to find a trauma therapist. Because even if my trauma is healed, I still have other issues, which could be resolved as a result to healing the trauma. I know. But I also know that suffering is part of human life, unless you are liberated. And I know plenty of people. Well, I don't know them personally, but after reading and studying trauma for 2 years, if it was that easy, everyone would be healed. It doesn't even work for everyone. Talk therapy doesn't usually work. And I know because even though my therapist is not specialized in trauma, she did the whole thing. And at some point, she couldn't help me anymore. I could still call her and benefit from the sessions, but the step I need to take, I'm unable to take. And if I go with what I keep saying about non-duality and enlightenment and all that, and the fact that there is no self and no free will, it's pointless to even try to wake up because there's no one waking up. But that's not true. I don't think it's pointless to try because even though some people wake up super fast, some take decades, one common denominator is that a majority of people who wake up really wanted it and worked at it. But it feels really hopeless to think that I have no power and no control over when it happens. It might never happen. It might happen 30 years. How am I going to live another 30 years this way? And that's the point where I should let go and surrender and say, oh well, this is it. Lâcher prise. Just let go. It might take 30 years. This is it. I can't accept this suffering. I know what to tell myself. No, you don't have to accept the suffering for the next 30 years. You only have to accept the suffering right now. And obviously, in talking about it, I'm avoiding feeling it right now. And my mind says, well, okay, you should turn off the camera before you feel it. And when I turn off the camera, well, you should put your PJs on and brush your teeth, and then you can feel it. It feels so hard when I try to feel it. It feels like it's going to choke me and that I'm going to die. Literally. It feels like when I say the only way out is through, it feels like going through it is not possible. If I go through it, I die because I won't be breathing for a long time and I'm going to die from no air and from hurt. Maybe I was strangled in another life. What does that bring me? Does that heal me? Does that help me? Hell no, that doesn't help me. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video. 36 minutes. I've rambled long enough. So, all that to say, I think today was day 37 of the 100 days of meditation challenge. And today I meditated for an hour and 45 minutes.